Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm sharing the projects that I made for the Smash That Small paper pad collab that's hosted by Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage here on YouTube. And you just choose a pad smaller than 12 by 12 to work on. You use it up and you move on to another smaller pad. For July, I chose the Cosmo Cricket Jolly by Golly 6x6 mini deck. It says there were originally 36 sheets. I think I started with 22. So I inherited this from someone and it was already partially used, so I went ahead and finished it off. So what all did I make from it? I did make some cards. And I made 14 cards, and I had also found in my stash some cut-aparts that were from Cosmo Cricket, this line as well, and so I was excited to have, because the pad itself didn't have any cut-aparts, and so I was happy to find some of the separate cut-aparts that I had already had in my stash. So here's one where I was just trying to use up the cut-aparts, and then a couple of scraps of paper in the background. And I love the pinks in these cards. And so for all of them, I believe I used craft card bases. And then I do have scraps on the inside of each card as well. Here's another one where I was trying to use up this bigger cut apart. And I did ink most of the edges on all of my cards as well with, I think it was the walnut stain distress ink. Is the one I ended up using just to help them stand out. So this was another cut apart that I had and just paired it with some scraps, and this one I actually did add some light blue pearls. This is a fun little cut apart. The season just isn't complete without a few ding dongs. So I paired it with a scrap of the paper that had the same bells on it, and then added a strip up here and then some little red circle cardstock. Actually, I think I may have punched them from this red up here on another scrap. This is, I don't have the sketch because I use it for everything, but this is the Operation Right Home sketch number 154, and normally it's like this. And in this case, I turned it sideways just because I had this piece that I wanted to use, and it was vertically oriented instead of horizontal. So I just switched up the sketch a little bit. And so then I do have this one, which is vertical. And then here's another horizontal one because I wanted to use the bells, and it was like an up and down orientation. And then this last one. Merry Christmas. And this was a sentiment that I had printed from my silhouette. That was a stamp. That was a stamp. I think that one was one I had printed from my silhouette as well and already had in my stash. This is Operation Right Home sketch number 33, and I turned this one horizontal to get this little card, and I used these for something last year, and I had one or two left, and the green kind of coordinated with the greens in this pad, and so I thought the gnomes would be cute with this paper. So just added that as my focal point and sentiment. This just says it's a Cards TV sketch. It doesn't have a specific name, but as always I will link the sketches below in the description box. So this was just using some scrap pieces, kind of pieced them together. And then another one of those sentiments I'd printed from my silhouette. So this one, I was just trying to use up some scraps, and so I just kind of created a background for my focal point here with the sentiment and the gnome. And so just had two longer pieces here and then a shorter, darker piece in the middle. And then here I was just I have a couple of them where I just had these strips, the 2-inch strips, and was trying to use them up. So I just pieced them together, kind of tied them together with this green strip, and then added my sentiment over the top. This one just kind of offset some of the strip scraps that I had. And then here's another one of those with the 2 longer strips. So those were the cards that I made. And then I also made some other non-card projects. I had seen somewhere, I think on Pinterest originally, these little pockets, and I've seen them used for tea bags, I've seen them used for chocolates, and I've seen them used for like various other things. And I've seen them in different sizes, but I found one, and I will link it below, that it uses a 6x6 sheet of paper. And so I thought, well, that's perfect. And normally the ones I've seen, they're double-sided. So you have a pattern in the middle as well as the outside. But I just loved it because it used a full 6x6 sheet of paper. I didn't have to trim anything down. It was just a matter of folding and scoring. And it was a little bit of a challenge because I don't have an actual scoreboard. I use an old trimmer with a score blade. So I did kind of have to tweak it a little bit. So if there's any of you that you would like to try this and you want to try the project that's linked in the description box below, and you don't have a scoreboard either, and you're doing your own scoring, let me know, and I can kind of do a little quick tutorial on how I did these. But they're really simple folds. You don't even have to glue. And the only thing what holds it together is when you punch your hole up here and tie your ribbon. So on all of them, I use this cute little like darker red gingham ribbon, and then some light blue and white baker's twine. And I had created some embellishments for the Christmas in July 2020 PHA Challenge. Week 1 was embellishments, and so these were the embellishments that I created, and then I just added them on to these projects. So here, this was a coffee cup that was part of or hot chocolate mug that was part of a cutout, and I just kind of added some Wink of Stella to it, layered it up with some scraps that I made into fishtails and added them on. And then this one was Santa that I printed out from my silhouette, and so all I really did to him is added a I need to re-glue him, he's not sticking, white scallop circle behind it, and then some white, was it the diamond Nuvo drops, the Nuvo glitter drops, onto the fur on his hat and the ball on the tip of his hat. So you can kind of see that. And this was a snowman I had printed, and added some Wink of Stella to his hat, and then some Nuvo drops. Actually, this may have been stickles that I used on the Santa hat. And then Nuvo drops here to act as like little snowflakes around the snowman. And then this one was a cut apart that I just fussy cut out the little fancy tag there, added a little red bow for my stash, and on this one, I don't know why, but I added one to both sides. So this was another cut apart, and I just added some Wink of Stella to the bird, and then some Nuvo drops around it, and then I did back it on another scrap of paper. So I did make 4 of these, and I think I will use these for craft shows if we get to have them in the fall, and with the Ghirardelli squares in there, like I pick at least one on each side. I've not had good luck selling the tea bag pockets, so I don't know if it's just the way I've packaged them or if it's just our area. We're not big tea drinkers here in the Midwest. We're more coffee, but I don't know. But I do have sold out like most of the chocolate things that I've made in the past, so that's why I think I might go with chocolate. So then here was just one random gift tag that I made, and so I just took, this was a cut apart that I had, and so then I just took some of the little strips that I had left and kind of covered the back side with the strips, and then just punched a hole. So I already had the to and from on it, so that was easy. And then I made 5 hot cocoa pockets for craft shows this fall. So as part of the embellishment week for the Christmas in July 2020 PHA Challenge, I had also made these rosettes, and they're pretty big. So I may have to find a different clear plastic bag. Like normally I use like the, what are they? 4 1/4 by 6 something bags from clearbags.com. What normally would fit an A2 size card. but I don't know, this might be too thick to fit in there, so I might have to bump up to like a 5x7 size bag, but we'll see. But I had made these rosettes, and it basically took one full sheet of 6x6 paper, and I just cut it into 4 strips. So like 1.5 inch, I think is what that would be. And just made the rosettes, and I had to end up gluing 2 strips together to get this big rosette. But then just took that Santa again, backed it on a scrap of paper that I punched into a scallop circle, and then did the stickles on his fur. And then this one is the exact same way. And for the actual pocket itself, I had some red envelopes. They're like the normal business size envelopes in my stash, and just covered them with paper and punched a partial circle at the top to have a notch. So, and then this is one where I had some blue envelopes in my stash. So I decided that I could use the blue with this paper because it did have some turquoise in it, and it ties in well with the little snowman's scarf and the ball on his hat. So I did this snowman the same way as I did the one before. It just has a different scrap behind it for the fishtail banner piece. And then here is another Santa that I printed out, also on like that fancy label shape. And so I did the same thing for him, like put him on just a fishtail banner. But for him, I did stickles on his beard, and then glossy accents for the fur on his hat. And so here was another one that I did with the Santa, just used a different scrap for the back part there. So from the 22 sheets that I had left in this pad, I got 5 hot cocoa pockets, 4 of the Ghirardelli square, double Ghirardelli square holders, and then what did I say? 1 gift tag and 14 cards. So, and I do, when I always keep this part of whatever pad I end up using up, or at least part of it, if I end up using the rest of the pad for something, and I just write on there what it is I got from it and when I used it. So just a way for me to track so that I can look back and see what I've used. So that is the small pad that I smashed, and I think I'm filming this early because we are going to be out of town, but there's be a little bit time left in July once this is aired, and so I may go ahead and tackle another Christmas pad and work on that through August. And this is one I've had for a few years. 2015 is when it's dated, but it's Winter Frost from Recollections, and I apparently got it on clearance after Christmas because I paid $1.79. So you can't beat that. But I just liked the blues and the silvers in this one, and it does have some cut aparts, and it does have a few 6x6 size images, but I think just the 2 pages of that, and then some like 3x6 cut aparts. But when I originally bought this, I envisioned using it for a Christmas album, or like a Christmas winter type album, just using the blues and the silvers and maybe some pops of red. And somewhere I had actually bought some stickers to go with it, but I don't know where those went. They may be in I need to look back in the drawer where I keep my 6x6 pads to see if I had it with it. But I did find some other stickers in my stash that I thought might work. I have some Studio G. They're stickers, but you can add glitter to them. So like they're adhesive on the top side as well, and then you can add the glitter to them. And so I thought these are some winter themed ones, and then I had some Christmas ones. So I thought, this one maybe use the blues, and this one maybe use the reds to kind of pop off the blues and the silvers in the paper. And then the snowflakes, I think I bought these to go with that too because they coordinate really well. And then I just pulled out some other random stash stickers from my stash that I thought I might be able to use with the pad. So this is what I plan to work on next for the last bit of July and then into August. So Be sure to check out all of the other participants in this collaboration and to see what they've done with their smaller pads. There's usually some really great and creative projects as part of this collaboration, and it's nice to have the encouragement and incentive to be using up some of our smaller pads in our stash. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out the other participants that will be in the description box below, and I will also include the link to the pin that I used for my inspiration for the little Ghirardelli pockets, and then the few card sketches that I use. But if you have any questions about anything, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, thanks for your time, and I hope you're having a crafty day.